I think it's being live streamed. Yeah. Semua dah. Dah live stream dah kan? So boleh on.
Dan ini attendance untuk attendance satu lagi.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you RC members and also other members that just joined in to our forum. This forum is quite what we say, it's timely already due to whatever is happening around the world, and we have our panelists that are experienced in their own expertise. So let's start. Okay. So we have some introductions for 10 minutes, and then we have the first panelist to share his view and his presentations for 20 minutes, followed by the second panelist to share also a presentation for 20 minutes until 11:50, and then followed by a question and answer session from 11:50 to 12:20. Perhaps might be extended if there are many questions. Okay. So let me introduce our speakers or our panelists. The first is Dr. Harmi Tazim. Currently is the assistant prof at the Kuliah of Islamic Arabic Knowledge and Human Sciences from the Department of Communication. Completed his PhD in mass communications from UiTM Sharjah, and more importantly is that the former director of Office in Charge with Com. In UAE or in the University Islam Antarabangsa, we call it as OCAP. I was involved with him during the pandemic session, so he was involved directly during the pandemic on crisis management during the COVID period, under the purview of previous director Tan Sri Zul. Okay, and then he has a vast experience in TV3, especially as also becoming last time as TV3 Bulletin Utama newsreader, and not forgetting various research and grants related to communication. Okay, and our second speaker, Dr. Nur Nuha, our own experts, from associate professor at the Kuliah of Information and Communication Technology, Department of Information System. Currently sits at the as the deputy director of the office in charge with certification and quality at the university. We call it as KCA, Knowledge Certification and Accreditation, if I'm not mistaken. So currently leads information assurance and security research at the university, and acquired a PhD in information security from University of Melbourne, Australia. So among the experience that she has also was an experienced researcher as a research officer in MUSTI. Not forgetting, she also has various research and grants in the area of cybersecurity and related studies. So if you merge both, we have the current topic, which is on AI, double-edged sword, artificial intelligence in crisis communication, a double-edged sword for trust and risk. Okay, so if you look here, due to the increasing climate change, right? Heavy rainstorm and then floods. It's not even the raining season yet, the monsoon season is the end of the year, but it is towards the end of the year. But it's in August and September, we have torrential rain. During the day, it was sunny and bright, and during evening, suddenly it was a heavy rain or torrential rain with many branches, especially in KL, but I'm not sure in other area. But you also have the one in Sabah. So these are what we call as climate change that is very dynamic, and it will lead us to some crises at a certain period of time. Okay, but if so many crises, it become part of your life already, especially those in KL city dwellers. So you also see here with regard to traffics, these are traffic heavy. What happened if there are crises along the road and you are stuck Okay, so it still can be a crisis, but if you're stuck there, there's always the right authority to assist. And it's also during the holidays, so there are jam atas highway and jam atas gutong. So we have traffics. So it's just not climate change that we need to be aware of currently. There's also a change in our lifestyle that we need to be aware of. So a change in lifestyle during every time holidays, you can see that these are the things that we will face. Okay. So we also have some issues at hand regarding one or two issues, death of students in institutional of higher learning and in school. So this would provoke some crisis to the particular office or ministry or even university. Okay. So how should we handle this, right? So this a crisis, right? Who shall be the spokesperson, and what should the particular institution do whenever there is a crisis? So we had last time or many other IPTs as well. There might be some crisis, there might be some death, or not some death, there might be one or two fatality issues. So how do they handle it? Okay, so is it a crisis, right? And even if we have the pandemic, so during the pandemic, when I've experienced with Dr. Harmi, we decided under this for Sejahtera Council, there's only a one spokesperson. Okay, so then we see along the way there are so many crises or so many issues that even happen, but along the way also what will be and how they virals it, and also some events that people use AI. Okay, I think I came across AI featured on what trainer on Orca trainer that leads to a fatality death and so on. But it was just an AI made view of that particular video. So how AI has actually manipulated our crisis management, how do we view it, and how do we know the originality of such things if they happen or not. So because of the increment influence of the social media, so you really need to go and get actually the actual input. I think the government has put kalau tak betul jangan share something like that, right? So we have two experts here to share their views and their takes and also their experiences on this AI and communication. So let me just share as well before I pass to them. This is from the World Economic Forum Global Risk Perception Survey 24-25. Over for the severity in 10 years, if you can see the green, extreme weather events, which what we are currently experiencing, our biodiversity, the critical change to Earth system, nature resources shortages. So the green color is actually on related to environment. So this purple color or purple, I think, misinformation and disinformation and adverse of AI technologies. So this fifth and sixth is related to technology, related to AI, because misinformation and disinformation, how we can actually be misinformed and disinformed based on our social media and so on. Okay, here like this one, how people viral it, and those things like how people viral is make claim that okay, this student was put in a washing machine, so how do we put it on this social media? So these are among the things that the World Economic Forum Global Risk Perceptions has, these are based on perception, has put that misinformation and disinformation among top risks within the 10-year period. What we have already currently is number 1, 2, 3, 4 is actually nature, related to nature or environment. Extreme weather event is what we are actually currently right now. So now we are going to take you to the past of the discussion on misinformation and disinformation and adverse outcome of AI technology. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our first speaker, panelist, Dr. Harmi Tazim. So I pass you, Dr. Harmi. You can share your slide, Dr. Harmi.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shelley. Uh, right. Let me. To this one. Okay. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for inviting me for this talk. Um, Let me start by saying that yes, crisis communication is the most important part in handling whenever we have crisis. I would share some with you. Hang on. This is also crisis. Hang on. Um,
Ini pun krisis ni,
tak boleh.
crisis.
Okay, all right. Yes. Okay, what is crisis? Well, crisis is a sudden, unexpected, and often disruptive event or situation that threatens to harm an individual, organization, community, or even an entire society. It creates a state of instability or danger. Crises happen everywhere, and sometimes, like you said, it's because of nature. Sometimes because of man-made. But uh, when it happens, it is up to us how to handle the situation. Okay. So what is organizational or corporate crisis? As we know, it's important for us in this university and also for this talk. A corporate or organization crisis is a serious disruptive event that threatens the operation, reputation, stakeholders, a very survival of an organization. It goes beyond normal day-to-day problem because it creates high level of uncertainty, risk, urgency, and often forcing management to make quick decision on limited information. Because of my, my experience working as a director of OCAP last time, yes, I have almost half of my duty, or more than half of my duty, is to handle crisis. It's what we call to padamkan api, um, to fight the fire. So it's like a day-to-day thing to do. Yeah. So key features of organizational crisis is always you unexpected that to happen. So you always be prepared 24 hours. I always say to my staff, I always say to the team that we are working 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no rest. You never know. It happened to me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Something happened in IUM and called me at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Um, it's hard to get on a holiday. It's hard it's always you also always on your feet. And then it threats to survival, endangers finances, reputation, relationship with stakeholders or organization, their legitimacy. When I give example for this university, it's important. The stakeholders, the community, the students, the biggest stakeholder of the university, and it will threat to our survival. It's for our student intake, for the reputation of the university. Time pressure, leaders must act very quickly. So under intense media and public scrutiny. And stakeholder impact, employees, customers, shareholder, regulators, and wider public may all be affected. So these are key features of organizational crisis. We have type crisis, product service failure, financial crisis, reputational crisis, technological data breach, and then natural or external crisis, like what we used to have pandemics, political instability, disasters. So all these must put into account in the type of organ crisis. So why it matters? Corporate or organizational crises are studied closely in crisis communication because how a company or institution or organization respond through transparency, accountability, engagement can determine whether it recovers stronger or lost forever. So we have seen a lot of crises happen. Um, I give one example that everybody can understand is Nokia and also BlackBerry. When crisis happened to them, because they don't want to follow the trend that time when people are moving toward a smartphone, iOS, Apple, and also Android. They refused to because they were strong name, a huge name at that time. At one time, every five handphone, one Nokia. So they control the world, but they don't want to follow. And because of the crisis, and they act very late or they refuse to act, and BlackBerry is nowhere to be seen now. Same goes to Nokia. So no matter how big you are, even Apple or Android, they can go down if they'll respond quickly to the crisis. Like for those, because I'm following um, gadget because I love gadget. Now iPhone 17 is out, and there's a lot of problem with 17 Pro and also 17 Air, and Apple is doing everything they can do now to counter whatever problem that they have, and then to answer all the problem that they link to the phone. So this is they have to be quick and in crisis. Um, Hang on. Okay. Crisis communication has undergone dramatic shift with the introduction of social media. As you know, when social media comes, everything what we studied last time, what I did 10, 15 years ago to the drain. We cannot use anymore because social media is something that is no more like used to be. You wait for the news either tonight or tomorrow. You read the newspaper. Now the time is now. When I said now, now means now, within seconds. So it was acceptable to wait 24 hours before making any statement. Now 24 hours is too long. By the standard, actually, if any crisis happen, even in the university when I handle it, the maximum is 2 hours. By 2 hours, you already have come up with a statement to the public or to the stakeholders. If not, people will start to make their own narrative. So it's important for you to make your narrative. Once other people start to make narrative, that is difficult for you. Okay. Communication strategies are necessary to successfully manage a crisis. Issues of anger, hostility, and fear can complicate already complex situation. This can result in rumors and fake news, creating communication structure and flow of information objective, truthful, timely, necessary to inform the external and internal stakeholders. Crisis management and crisis communication are intricately interlinked. Give you example, very simple. In this university, we had problem before, and we act quickly to counter the problem. If I can say here in this talk that we once had a problem with issue with Mahala. Within 2 hours, we come up with a statement at the counter back before people start talking. People start doing things because by the 2 hours actually it's already flooded the social media. So you need to go out quickly. And I know that some of you will ask why, because some people ask me also, why are we not answering all those negative things in social media? Let me tell you first, it's impossible for you to answer everyone, and you don't have to. You have to pick your battle. Later on, I show you that you have to pick your battle. Yeah. So what I did was during the COVID-19, when at first remember when we had COVID-19 at early part, even one person contracted with the COVID-19, and the whole nation will panic. So in IIUM, there's a rumors that time fake news saying that one student from China just came. She came from China, and she got COVID-19, and it all circulated around in IIUM. In fact, around the campus as well, all the school and other universities around our campus also received that. So impossible for me, for my team at the time, to fight to those and to those fake news. So what we did, two things. One, we declare we publish from our own this is a fake news with a reminder to people that spreading fake news is punishable by law. Secondly, we ask the help from our media friend. So we go because we have close relationship with media. So we ask media to come up with a statement because people believe that more than they believe us. So if I say so, if the statement come from me as a director for OCAP, the director of communication, they say that I'm covering something. But when I ask Newsdays, Time, Berita Harian, Sinar Harian, and all to come out with a statement saying that there's no one, the campus at that time still 100% green, no COVID-19, and then people believe. What important for me that time was not my own name or the reputation of me or the university, because of you must understand that there are thousands of students in IIUM and their parents at home are worried about their children. So they need to know that, and very fast need to know that. So when crisis commences, activating a crisis management team is the first step. So what I do is, when things happen, the first thing is you must have CMT. The CMT will execute the CMP, crisis communication plan, which crisis management plan, which contain communication strategies as part of crisis response. The purpose crisis communication plan is to develop procedures so that for communicating with internal and external stakeholders. The main goal is conveying what has happened, what plan in place to address the crisis. Communication with stakeholders must be carried out in expedient manner. It enhances credibility and organizational and build trust. Example I can give during COVID-19, during the early COVID-19, when the lockdown started in March 2020, everybody came up with a statement. We are the first university, or did not make any statement, but we recorded the director at that time for the director to say that, to say to our community that everyone is safe here. Inshallah, do not worry, we will go through things together. It gained more trust. After we did that, and other institutions start to follow of doing video. Why? Because this is to gain the trust from the people and to show that you are in a good hand, because the boss said it himself and via video. Instead of you reading it and anybody can write, they can say that the corporate com boss wrote it, the boss just signed it. So we asked the boss to say it himself, number one. Number two, we have our own CMT at that time called Sejahtera Council. And when things happen, anything happen, we will meet, and then we come up with a plan. And then the purpose is that communication with internal is very important. That's why at that time, if those you in IIM remember, the guideline will come out almost every week, guideline or statement, or for you to know what's going on. Once you know what's going on inside, then you'll be okay. If you don't know what's going on inside, then you start to worry or start to get panic. Two functions that means must be addressed. Managing crisis require a command and control function, involve management, owners, selected employees. The general employees, the population need to be updated. This is what we did last time. We update people. We told people what's happening, and then because they are also like a duta to our university, because telling people outside, yeah. So the two function, the command and control function, the location of command center must be, if big disaster happen like COVID-19, then you need a physical command and control center. So we had that in Awesome at that time. So we will call a meeting in Awesome physically for those who can come. For those who cannot come, we did it via teleconference like this. I remember that when things happen, I need to know first as a director of communication, and also as the person running the Sejahtera Council at that time. I need to know first. Then I decide to call the whole CMT, and then tell the director. Then we gather a meeting and we come up, because I cannot make decision. Certain thing that important, like what's going to happen next, or will our class starts, or I cannot do that decision. So I need this CMT to sit down and decide. I will tell people, I will tell public, I will tell internal people what's going on. And then we have CMT and CMP and the plan. So once the plan has finished, then I start to share with everyone. Yeah. So employees is critical in success of any crisis management communication, because they are, like I said, duta, ambassadors to for the company. If they don't know what's going on inside, how they can tell people? Let's say things happen in IIUM, and you as a staff, you don't know. So when a big thing happen, yeah, big crisis happen, you don't know. People ask outside us, you don't know how to answer, and you might give a negative or wrong answer to the people. So this is something that people inside need to know first. Not everything need you to know. The thing that when it happen in a crisis that you need to know, then you have to let your community know first, yeah. Because, and especially when you want to convey message to everyone. What we did during the COVID-19 was, I remember I had an argument with someone from this university saying that how to make sure the whole university will receive the guideline or the rules and whatever we're doing. And that person said to me that, I remember, we use email. I said, no, you use email, nobody gonna read email now, or the student will not read email. And how to reach the student, because we live in a, in at that time, everybody at home, in their mahalah, they cannot go out. So what we need to do? I said, very simple. We use social media. With social media, trust me, can get very fast. I remember one time we made one guideline that in a way, not in accordance to the KPT that time. We issued that at 4 o'clock in the evening. At 4:30, the director in KPT called me saying that, why are we doing this? Half an hour it took the time to reach KPT. So this is how fast the communication can be, and this is how you communicate. But telling people, yeah, so sharing is important. Like she stated here, West Virginia University install emergency paging system in all classroom, key and admin areas. The net need to let people know, as Dr. Shelley said just now. Now during this time, is the weather is not so good, and as we know, the La Nina is coming at the end of the year. The meteorological department already warned us that we're gonna face difficult weather at the end of the year and early next year. So we should be prepared by now. This is where later on, I think, Dr. Nuha will explain on the AI how this can help us. Yeah. So I'm explaining on the communication part first. Yeah. So and then we go to crisis communication with external stakeholders. Internal, we do circulation, we do email, we do WhatsApp, we have this announcement that we have in our email. Yeah. Then for people outside, you should have a spokesperson. When communicate with traditional media outlet, best designate a spokesperson. Who is a spokesperson? The boss. Number one is a spokesperson. Always, yeah, it's always the boss, or who the boss appointed to speak, or the director of communication. No one else speak to the media. No one else speak to the people. Like during pandemic, remember, highest authority, the health ministry, that give spoke as a spokesperson. That time Tanti Sham every evening reminding us on what's happening on the day, how many people died and all that. So the CEO of the company is the most ideal as a spokesperson. Yeah, the highest is a spokesperson. But if he or she is not available, or she is not comfortable talking, then he or she will appoint someone, or normally the director of communication is the person who will be the spokesperson. He has to be pleasant on camera, answer question effectively, present crisis information clearly, ability to answer difficult questions. Um, this one ideal trait for spokesperson: maintaining eye contact, hand gestures, voice inflection is very important to show if you're sad, you're sad, if you're happy, you're happy. If you don't know, people will know, especially media reporter like me, we will know from your inflection, from your voice, you're hiding something or not. Changing facial expression, avoiding verbal disfluencies. So the one thing that you cannot say is no comment. No comment is very bad thing to say during conference like this. When people ask question to you, you say no comment. No, you have to answer. You cannot run away. But what you answer is the most important thing. Don't assume that members of media represent the enemy and we are out to discredit the organization when crisis occurs. Media can beneficial in some instances for company to reach important audience. Like I said just now to you that we use media a lot to help us during COVID-19. And even when I think happened at IUM recently, and a lot of thing happened during my time. We have visa problem at that time with visa, immigration, many things. So with the help of the media, it helped to reduce the what they call it, the magnitude of the crisis. We had problem before. Um, the media want to announce something not so good to our university. So I begged them not to. I asked them not to. In the end, they just said that university in Gombak but people know it was us, but they never mention the name IUM. So this is communication. The news media is very important, but you need to feed them the real thing. You cannot lie to them, because the worst part is when you have to, when you need to eat your word back to the media when crisis happen, and then it open to a lot of interpretation, a lot of narrative, and you cannot answer. So during my time, I will answer the right thing, but I need to know the whole thing first. I need to know the whole thing, the whole scenario, the whole picture. Then I use my knowledge to answer back to the media things that what I can say, what I cannot say. So this is how we do it. Yeah, communicating with media during crisis. Um, like I said here, one phrase that should be avoided is no comment. If you say no comment and the company is hiding something, there are certain words that you need to stay away from. Like for example, we said we will investigate this matter. When you said you will investigate this matter, there's something wrong because you are investigating the word itself. Or in bahasa we call kita kami akan siasat perkara ini. When you say siasat, then you are admitting it happened. So the word I will use is that we look into this matter. Uh, then we will decide. When you say we look into this matter, it sound better, and it sounded like you are not admitting to something. But when you said you're investigating, we are currently investigating the matter, and then it's proven something is wrong, we will take action. Oh, no, no. Never do that. Never do that. When crisis happen, never do that. It happened in our time. I think Dr. Shalis, remember Mahalah Farooq, I think. We had problem because the water gush out from the under the mahala, and is during the raining season at that time. So I have to answer the media. So my answer is media is very simple. That the first thing that the students are all safe. The first thing that we do is to make sure everyone is safe. I cannot say much about what happened because I'm waiting for the authority to make statement. So all you need to answer things like that to make it safe, to make people, to assure people. Assurance is very important. So when things happen in IIUM, let's say someone did something in this university, or it happened before, right? Someone, there's people, a fatality happened in this university, and then you need to make a statement within 2 hours. Within 2 hours, sometimes late. Within 1 2 hours, yes, because of uh, OCAP need to write the statement, need to get approval from the director, and only can issue. So that's why normally the director of OCAP has a direct access to the office of the director at any time at all. During the meeting, during Senate meeting, during UMC meeting, he will knock the door and talk to the boss if he needs to do that. Not only in this university, but anywhere, because I work as a PR before outside, and the office, I have the authority to go to the CEO, knock at the door during his meeting if I need to speak to him urgently. If something happened that can contribute to the company, to the reputation of the company. Yeah. So guideline on this conference, the spokesperson should continuously practice and rehearse based on the potential question. Develop rapport with the media. I think this is important. You know what happened. I can give example during the MH370, and the way they handle situation, the way they handle the news conference was very professional. During COVID-19, Tan Sri Sham handled the news conference also professionally, and with his face, when his inflection, and the way that he answered, in the sense of the calmness, even though thing happen. Hari ni saya nak umumkan kita ada. So this is important for the news conference. Yeah. The media should be alerted in advance. Late morning, early afternoon are the best option to get the maximum coverage. Now we go to crisis communication, social media. This is the worst part for me. In my practice that over 30 years in doing this thing, social media is the worst part because before social media, quite easy. Something happen, you just prepare statement, send to the newspaper. Now, social media, when people start to talk, when sad thing happened to adik Zara, and people start to make a lot of content. I don't understand why, but this is what people do. I remember in the newspaper I read in the news saying that when police authority question them, they say that we just want to make content without realizing that the content is detrimental to the case or to that person. But these are people today. So you cannot stop people from writing. I'm talking about experience as a director for CAP. I cannot stop people from writing things about our university. But there are a lot of things people say nice thing about university that we push it forward. And then also that not all we have to answer. Yeah. So utilize social media outlet and ongoing component of our corporate communication plan. Um, we, how to say that? We pick our battles and we choose the right way to combat. Like I said to you, when people say there's a COVID-19 victim in IIM at that time, what we did was we took that post and we said this is fake news and we share. So we cannot answer back, oh no, we are denying. And the worst part is when you start to answer personally. For example, that someone say badly about the university and I'm a director, okay, I straight went into the conversation and said, you are wrong, salah ni, tak baik cakap macam ni, berdosa tau. And then people will attack you more. That to show that you're not professional. There's a lot of people, they express themselves on the social media, especially on personal views and things about the institution. It is wrong. It's to show that you're not professional in doing that. Okay? Um, evaluating the success of the crisis communication process. You must evaluate, you look back at your social media, evaluate process, provide information, fact, build knowledge based on promotes learning. And normally what we do is we look back at the social media and we study back because in Twitter, we know that they have algorithm and then number one is IIUM Banjir. And that is number one. People talk about that. Then you start to answer back and you look back where is the status of that. Yeah. So taking happen, when crisis happen, strategies at beginning crisis, during, and the end. I'm going to go very fast because I have 20 minutes. Strategies at the beginning of the crisis, leadership of CMT, situation assessment, mitigation strategies, initial communication, information need. Um, Very simple. Okay, this is a sample. We still go to the example, then you can see. Yeah, Sheets convenience store chain 2004 crisis. Hundred of customers in Western Pennsylvania became sick of salmonella. The source later found Roma tomatoes that Sheets procured from one of its produce suppliers. So what they did is shortly thereafter switch to new type tomato from different supplier. Chairman, President, VIP, and VP visited stores to meet customers, offered to pay their medical bill. This is all what you need to do to mitigate and also to counter the issues. What happened in the mitigate Crystal Harmony cruise ship crisis 1990? So there's a fire aboard the Crystal Cruises of Los Angeles, California. CMT arranged to have tugboat move the ship back. Later, CMT learned that ship was able to regain 80% of the power. Tugboats are no longer needed. So PR prepare press release. CMT prepared refund process. Guests received their refund immediately and given 500 USD voucher and next visit. 280 passengers signed the letter expressing their appreciation. So you need to act fast before they start to create more problem for you. So initial communication is very important. Spokesperson very vital in managing organizational communication with the media. Exxon in 1993 experienced a refinery fire in Louisiana. The oil giant reacted in less than 3 hours by issuing the first press release at 7 a.m., followed by statement issued by 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So this you need to do from time to time to explain to people what's going on and to ensure the safety. Yeah. So these are the 7 steps you take during crisis. Step 1, alert. Step 2, collect all information. Step 3, assign tasks, continue finding facts. CMT should delegate duties. Step 4, develop solution alternative. Step 5, implement chosen solution. 6, communicate with the media. 7, review what happened, evaluate decision that were made. what was learned and how in the future that we can learn from this. Yeah. Now, lastly, we go to AI. Dr. Nuha will talk more on AI, but AI to me is something as a person of deal with communication. It's very interesting, the time has changed and passed until now that we had a Google time, Makcik Google, Uncle Wikipedia. Now we come to Abang Chat they call it. So AI can help us because in communication, real-time monitoring and sentiment analysis, predictive analysis of risk detection, automated responses and chatbot, which is a lot of people are using. You buy things, dekat ni kan Shopee, you're not happy, then you go there. Then be like, yes, my name is, can I help you? And you start to talk to that person or you start to chat, but it's not a person inside, it's a machine. So this is automated response and chatbot to enhance data visualization, building trust with AI, speed in delivering accurate information, transparency in communication, personalized engagement, case study AI in health crisis update. This is building trust with AI. Okay, but to me, AI have one problem. When we over reliance on automation, machine cannot answer everything. And then when it comes to crisis, it deal with emotion. We deal with people. When you deal people and emotion, machine cannot answer that. Yeah. And potential spread of misinformation. Lain tanya, lain jawab. Different answer question you ask, different answer that given by the machine. Algorithmic bias and lack of empathy. Only we human can do that. Yeah, machine still cannot do that. I don't know whether one day, 10 years, 20 years from now, they'll come out with a machine that have empathy, can feel kesian dia. No. But now, no. So, algorithm bias can happen because, how to say this, yeah? Um, when something happen in social media and bad thing, and a lot of people give negative, even though that thing is actually positive, but because of the algorithm is showing that a lot of people saying bad about it, and you think it's bad, but actually those people who said bad enter that, but those who say think good, like you don't want, you don't want to go to social media and share your feeling. So this is something that you don't know. Yeah, so it's difficult to say, and data privacy and ethical concerns. So this is another thing, risk and challenges. Yeah, um, trust building versus trust erosion. Um, Speed versus accuracy, efficiency versus empathy, transparency versus manipulation. I like speed versus accuracy because of I work with TV3 last time. Our tagline is berita terkini, hiburan sensasi. Yeah. But when my previous boss, Suhaimi Sulaiman, went to Awani, the tagline changed over there. It's not berita terkini anymore. It's the real news. Berita yang pasti. So, kalau tak pasti, jangan kongsi. That's the word. It's not the speed anymore important now because we used to have that. Who said it first? But no, who said it accurately first? So the problem with AI is when thing happen, you already program it. The AI will say something, but actually it's the other way around. So this is that my concern. Yeah, positive example. Positive example. Hang on.
I think Dr. Harmi boleh wrap sekejap ke?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to finish anyway. Positive example, AI detecting early warning signal. Negative example, chatbot miscommunication, product recall. And then that's it. Role of human and its oversight. Accountability of AI-driven communication. Aligning professional code ethic, Islamic perspective on trust and responsibility. That's all. Because I think I will answer. Answer in the question and answer session. If anything that you want to ask more.
Thank you, Dr. Harmi, for the very overwhelming information on communication as well as some inputs on AI, which that leads us to our next speaker. Based on her expertise in cyber and also AI, I think I welcome Dr. Nuha for her sharing session on AI, on crisis communication. Okay, Dr. Nuha, you can have your session now.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sharliza. And thank you for the introduction just now. Thank you also to Dr. Harmi for the very interesting presentation. So it's actually part of what we teach our students at KICT on business continuity and data recovery, the importance of crisis management as well. So until now, I did not realize that OCAP has got so many responsibilities, not just for, communication, general communication, promotion, but also need to do crisis management. Memang it's a very big responsibility at the Harmi. So, but Alhamdulillah, I think we are in good hands, yeah. And we have OCAP to do that for us, and also along with other KCDIs, inshallah. All right. So, like what Dr. Sharliza mentioned, in the beginning, I will talk about AI from the context of cybersecurity and ethics sikit lah, right? Okay. Okay, I think Dr. Sharda had already introduced myself. But just to add, I'm also lead auditor for ISO 27001. If we have the ISO 9001 kan, for the quality management system, 27001 is for information security management system, looking at managing information security lah. So inshallah, I will share with you just a bit about what is information security, yeah? And also a certified cyber defender associate for Cyber Range Malaysia. So the RU has changed its name from Information Assurance to Cybersecurity Governance Risk and Compliance, or GRC. I was a former research officer at MOSTI, agency under MOSTI, and also consultant and trainer for government projects, along with I call team and Prof. Nobik. I'm one of the consultants for Cybersecurity Act, Cybersecurity Bill, Data Sharing Bill, and trainer for Intan. Next would be the outline of this presentation. So first I will talk about introduction to AI, what is AI, and the evolution of AI, and then introduce a bit about what is cybersecurity. I was asked by RMO to talk about cyber threats to organizations. So we'll take a look into that, inshallah, and how to address these threats. And then we will look into AI and cybersecurity and how AI can be a double-edged sword. Okay, so learning objectives. Well, inshallah, at the end of my presentation, the audience will be able to demonstrate an understanding about what is AI, what is cybersecurity, recognize AI as a double-edged sword in cybersecurity, and inshallah, be able to address cybersecurity threats or cyber threats in the era of AI. Okay, so perhaps if we can ask the audience to do exercise jari. If you can, I can seek your help to scan this QR code and answer the question. Can we do that, inshallah? If you have any problem to access, please let me know. While at the same time, I will check whether our audience had already answered the question. So at this point of time, I think no one had answered yet. Maybe I give just about 1 minute. So the question would be, what do you understand about AI? Just anything that pops up into your mind, and just type it in. When you scan the QR code, there will be question, which is what do you understand about AI? And then you can give up to 3 answers. And then we'll take a look at the answer. Okay. All right, so now we already have a few audience had already answer some questions. Later on, I will share with you the results. Mana nak scan? So some phone you can also just switch on your camera tu kan, and then your camera can give you the link. Thank you so much for sharing the link for the menti.com tu. Thank you. Lupa nak share. So you can either scan the QR code or you can click on the link lah, menti.com tu. Okay, so ada beberapa dah. Maybe just wait a few more seconds. Okay, interesting answers, but don't worry, just type whatever the answer that comes to your mind. This point of time, there are 13 responses, 14 responses, 15, Alhamdulillah. Okay, there are 20 responses. Right.
We also have public views, but this is a live stream, Dr. Noha, so
Alhamdulillah.
not just within UAE community, but might as well other,
Alright,
other.
Can you guys see the results too in terms of word bubble? Ada nampak tak? Yang ada tulis what do you understand about AI? Pasal ada macam apa word cloud. Jawapan-jawapan dia.
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Okay. Tak ada. I screenshot. Nanti I share. Okay. So I stop share sekejap. I update I punya slide. Sekejap ya. I tambah sikit. I screenshot tadi. I just share kat sini lah. Right. I share balik. Dia boleh nampak ke? Okay, so the results. So Alhamdulillah, about 24 people who responded. So if you can see in the middle tu yang paling besar, the biggest font would be what is AI, artificial intelligence. Betul. Tahniah diucapkan. Alright, and other than that, yang besar sikit font dia, kita nampak robot kan, you can read robot tu agak besar sikit the font, and then lain tu macam kecil-kecil sikit kan. So okay, it's okay. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's just what you understand about AI. Okay, chatbot, betul you have heard from Dr. Harmi just now. ChatGPT. Okay, alright lah, because when I did my ni kan bagi talk, usually yang besar tu kat tengah-tengah tu, if I ask about what is AI, dia akan cakap ChatGPT. So ni dia ada beberapa pelbagai, there are a lot of answers. So Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you so much for your cooperation and for joining kita punya exercise jari tu kan. So insyaAllah we'll share with you more lah about what is AI. Okay. Alright, so what is AI? There are so many definitions lah about AI kan. So many memang if you Google or ask ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, there are so many answers when you ask about what is AI kan. But basically anything lah, any technology, AI, any systems that kita kata enable machines lah. So machine in this case is computer lah kan. So if you it's a technology, it's a system that enable machine, so the computer, to demonstrate intelligence. Biasanya yang intelligent is just us, human being, kan, yang intelligent, yang berakal and whatnot. But now we are asking the system or an application system to be a bit intelligent. So they can do things like prediction, problem solving, reasoning, they can learn, and so on and so forth. Right? So it's not just giving the instruction to the computer through biasa, programming biasa, kan? We just ask, give instruction. No, we ask more than that. We ask the system or the technology to do more than that, kan? Boleh buat reasoning and whatnot lah. So if you can take a look at bagi laser pointer here, yang examples of intelligence ni, include perception. Okay, what does it mean by intelligence? Kan biasanya manusia je, only the human being are intelligent. So we are intelligent since we can do perception, we can do reasoning, we can learn, do problem solving, language understanding, comprehension, consciousness, alertness, realization, awareness, intuition, acumen, and so on and so forth. Can make judgment and so on. And a lot of there are so many fields actually in AI, but the key ones are including vision, speech, robotics, software robots, machine learning, NLP or natural language processing, and so on and so forth. So this one, I took this diagram from Malaysian National AI Roadmap. So just to also share that Malaysia, as in the Malaysian government lah, had done so many things about AI initiatives, and I will share with you. So we take a look at the Malaysian National AI Governance and Ethics by MOSTI just last year, 2024. So they give the evolution of AI. So AI is not new, kan? It becomes so popular suddenly when we have ChatGPT lah, Midjourney, all those generative AI tools suddenly emerge, maybe in Malaysia about a few years ago. So it's actually that existed, AI had already existed in 1950s. And then we have machine learning pula, the machine or the computers are able to learn, hence we call it machine learning. And then we have deep learning in 2017, and now since 2021 in the US in the Western country, we have generative AI. So it's not just that the AI systems can do prediction, can do reasoning, can learn, and so on and so forth, but can also create things, not just creating text, but also audio, video, and so on and so forth, right? So that is generative AI lah. It can do more than that, generate things or create things, yeah. Okay, so just to share with you also that these are all the initiatives lah by Malaysia. So when we talk about AI ni, actually it is part of the technology in IR 4.0. Perhaps you have heard about it, kan? Industrial Revolution 4.0. And Malaysia has got its policy on IR 4.0. Okay, so Industry Forward is about how to drive Malaysian digital economy through all these IR4 technologies. So in 2019 kita dah ada and this one is my new before generative AI. And then we have National 4IR policy, and tadi Industry Forward tu more on manufacturing, economy, and so on. And then in 2021, under the 12 Malaysia Plan, kita ada National Fourth Industrial Revolution policy, and then the establishment of Malaysia Center for IR. Yeah, so ada center that overseeing everything lah, R&D, development, operation, and so on and so forth in IR technologies, in IR 4.0 technology. And then in 2024, kita ada, if you have heard about AI untuk rakyat. Okay, it's a portal which is free, so you can Google it. Just Google AI untuk rakyat, perhaps it will redirect you to portal rakyat digital lah, sebab dia dah shift to a different portal. But this portal teach anyone whatsoever. You can use your phone, tak kisah what age you are, you can learn about AI. So AI untuk rakyat is a portal to teach Malaysian about what is AI. And then the establishment of NAYO, National AI Office, and also the guidelines on governance and ethics. And just now you saw the evolution, kan? And then JDN, the Jabatan Digital Negara, came up with the Public Sector AI Adaptation Guidelines. Macam mana it's a guideline on how the Malaysian public sector officers should use or adapt to AI. So just also to share with you, under 13th Malaysia plan. Malaysia is actually the main agenda of RMP 13 ni adalah is to develop Malaysia to become an AI nation by 2030. But also we realize that there are so many opportunities, there are so many challenges as well. So we have to embrace both lah. So inshallah, we would like to increase more on the governance of AI ni so that we can address all the challenges. Okay, so if you take a look at the news, yes, it is pretty scary, but at the same time, a lot of opportunities when we talk about AI. But if I would just Google or search or ask Uncle ChatGPT or Cik Gemini and so on and so forth, when I type AI and cybersecurity in the news, these are the top 3 things that appeared lah. So here it says that shadow AI is on the rise, kan? And then at the same time, the cybersecurity experts are burnt out. So you can ask lah, ITD people pun sama juga kan. It's like catching mouse gitu kan. So it's very difficult lah when it comes to trying to do a lot of things or security controls and whatnot in the era of AI ni. Okay, so shadow AI is actually things that organizations do not know what their employees are doing, things that are in the shadow lah, macam shadow IT juga. So there are a lot of things actually that we cannot see or things that are visible among the employees. There are a lot of even opportunities, perhaps we see that already, but the risk the cybersecurity risk, other risk are usually hidden. So that's why they call it shadow AI. Okay, and cybersecurity Malaysians are knowingly training AI and creating new cyber risks. Because remember that AI is just the AI system, dia terima training data. They are being trained by all the data being give inputs to, right? So they learn from all this massive data that they can gather from the users, from the website, and so on and so forth, and it gives you the answer lah. So the better the quality of data, better answers that you get from these LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, blah blah blah. All right, and you are putting a lot of information, including sensitive information, including confidential information, because you want the answer from the LLMs, or ChatGPT and so on, right? And recently, if not last year, we have heard about new deepfakes. We have heard about deepfakes, and deepfake is not just using audio, but also using video now. People can just take a video and then you can change the face. If you have seen perhaps yesterday, they are being circulated online, there's this person talking and suddenly they choose the video of Taylor Swift, as if Taylor Swift is the one who is giving the online talk. Something like that, right? So and it looks so real. It's not like dulu. It's not like last year punya cerita. You can tell, in terms of the maybe it's not very clear, but now it is so clear. So people think that it might be real. And just imagine if na'uzubillah lah, whatever we wear is being stripped using the newly fake too. So I'm not giving you the idea to do that, but while searching for this, surprisingly, you can have all this app just like that. You can have the app and you can do it. I tak nak guna lah kan. So it is easily available and can be used by anyone for that matter. So please be careful. That's why a lot of campaigns to the parents not to share your children's photo because of this lah. We do not want the photos to be used by pedophiles to strip off the clothes and whatnot, so now it's getting I think a few months ago, this is becoming so popular and so rampant, so please be careful, okay, because there are apps like this. So this is a generative AI lah, a generative AI tool that can create videos, audio, and things like that, images, and so on and so forth. Okay, so from the news, so in terms of cybersecurity has been here so many years ago lah, yeah. When you have the IT, you have the computer and so forth, you have to manage, you have to have security controls and so forth. So the fundamental of cybersecurity is the same. You have to protect the information, the network and everything, using whatever pun AI ke, normal IT, no, internet and so forth, yeah. So even before that, we have had so many cases. And when we talk about Malaysian government infrastructure, we can see that over 1,500 cybersecurity incidents that were recorded, yeah, in Malaysia government lah, eh. And then Cybersecurity Malaysia reported that government sector suffered the most in data breaches. So the government wants expert lah, yeah, local experts to improve our cybersecurity posture. And there are lots of data breaches and so forth in Malaysia. So this is an introduction lah about what is cybersecurity. So it actually different to cyber safety lah. We talk about safety is about protection of our health, our privacy, kan? So cybersecurity is about protection of the ICT infrastructure. So as long as you are using smartphone, it is an infrastructure. So you have to protect lah, because inside your phone has got so many information, even sensitive information, photos, videos, and so forth, right? So you have to protect accordingly. So cybersecurity is about protecting the ICT infrastructure. And what are the components of ICT infrastructure, like networks, computers, whatever it may be, desktop, laptop, smartphone, tablets, and so forth, cloud applications, yeah, and also the data and information. You want to protect them from what? From cyber attacks, yeah. So what do you want to protect? You want to protect sensitive information. If you, perhaps you know a lot of confidential information about the organization, kan? So you cannot just talk to anyone without the authority. So if the person has no authority to know about the information, because it is confidential, then you cannot talk about it lah. You cannot talk about it, you cannot type it, you cannot share it on social media, you cannot put it on ChatGPT, and so on and so forth. So you have to protect the sensitive information and confidential information of the organization. So at the same time, we have to ensure the accuracy and completeness of the information, and that is integrity. We're talking about information integrity lah, bukan human integrity, okay? So information needs to be accurate and complete. So for example, a compromise to integrity would be, I know how to hack the system, so I want to change my CGPA from 2.8 to 3.8 gitu kan. So it's ada perubahan. Well, I don't know whether it has happened before lah in IUM, but perhaps it happened somewhere else. And not just confidentiality, integrity, we also need to make sure that if you are the authorized user of a system, or you should be able to access the information. If you are the authorized user, you should be able to access to all those things. Yeah, so availability is also one of the important things lah about cybersecurity. Okay, so from the international standard, just now I mentioned to you about ISO 27001 Information Security Management System, which is kawan kepada kawan lah. You can integrate this management system with 9001 Quality Management System. Inshallah, we're doing that. We already integrated with ABMS kan. In the future, we will integrate 9001 QMS with ISMS, inshallah. So ITD is doing it, inshallah. Okay, so information security is the preservation of CIA tadi. Right? You want to preserve the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information by applying risk management. Right? Risk management is a very important process in information security and any other types of management systems. Yeah. And because why? We want to give confidence to the interested parties, to the parents, to the students, to the employees, to the stakeholders, that risks are adequately managed by the organization. Yeah. And then this is the new version of ISMS, or Information Security Management Systems. Now it has included not just information security, but also the term cybersecurity and privacy, because the controls are more or less the same. So there are ISO is dividing these controls into 4, which are organizational controls, like policy. Kan, we need to have policy, security policy, social media policy, communications policy, and so on and so forth. You must have organizational control. We must have people control. Hence, we have security guards, or we have our awesome. We want to train you to become human firewall so that you can become control, the control for information security. Physical controls, buildings need to be secured and so on. We have awesome to take care of the physical controls, inshallah, and we have technological controls like firewall, intrusion detection systems, macam-macam lah, SIM and so forth. So there are about 96 controls in total that organization need to take a look at lah, or need to apply when they want to ensure information securitization. Okay, just to share a bit about the security triplet model by Richard Baskerville. The security triplet model consists of asset. What do you want to protect? You want to protect the asset. Whatever that things that are valuable to you. Okay? You want to protect the asset from what? From the threat. Yeah, so if we apply to cybersecurity, then we want to protect any ICT assets or information processing facilities as the asset from cyber threats. Yeah, and how to mitigate that? We have to do the controller, or address through control. So inshallah, I will share with you about the threats and also the controls, but you yourself have to understand what are the things that are valuable to you, which are, kalau I lah, my phone ni, kan, very valuable. Everything is here. The email lah, banking system, and so on and so forth. So you know your asset, you know the contents of inside your asset means, so you have to really understand what are the threats that can happen to your asset and how to apply the controls. Okay. All right. So something that is also becoming more famous now lah. I think Malaysia always talk about cyber resilience now as compared to cybersecurity. Maybe a few years ago, cybersecurity is the so-called in thing, but now people are talking about cyber resilience. So what is it? So that's why I want to share with you lah. So according to US NIST, NIST ni is like similar to our Malaysian SIRIM lah. So US NIST defines cyber resilience as the ability to anticipate, withstand, recover from, and adapt to adverse conditions, stresses, attacks, or compromises of systems that use or are enabled by cyber resources. So let me break them down into what is anticipating. We want to understand potential threats and vulnerabilities. So inshallah, we'll share with you after this. And if, let's say, we are being attacked, we should be able to withstand while under attack, and we have to recover lah. So restore whatever the systems and functions to recover from the attack, and we have to adapt. We have to learn from past incidents. Inshallah, we can better handle the future. So now, cyber threats to organizations, to your organizations, to our IUM, to your family as your organization. But we will focus on organizations as in IUM and so on. So we have to understand that threats can come from a lot of sources, or attack agents, like organized crime groups, foreign intelligence, competitors, business competitors, terrorists, hackers, even insiders. You are inside an organization, so the hackers do not need, let's say if somebody, an intruder, manage to get inside the data center or inside the organization, they can do anything, right? So similarly, we, the employees, are already inside an organization, and it's actually easier for us to become the threat. Especially information leakage lah. Inshallah, we'll share with you after this. And these are some of the types of cyber attacks. There are so many actually. These are the popular ones. So we'll go through that one by one. So I'd like to share about the local news lah, about cyber attacks. There are so many. So if we take a look at here, kan, notable cyber attacks in Malaysia, yang famous lah, popular in 2025. I mean, so far, is the attack to Malaysia Airport, 2024, to Prasanarana, perhaps you have heard about it, kan? And Alhamdulillah, in April, the cybersecurity bill that IUM is the consultant, kan, has been passed by Parliament in 2024. And then cyber attacks on a lot of government agencies and ministries. anonymous group attack, yeah, on Malaysia, anonymous Malaysia lah, nanti I share with you in 2021, and then Royal Malaysian Navy data breach in 2020, in 2018, Election Commission data leak, MCMC website defacement in 2017, Immigration Department system breach in 2016, and then Bank Negara malware attack in 2015. And on top of that, yang tak that we cannot see from the infographic by the star ni, Post Malaysia was attacked by ransomware. Yeah, at that time kan, around a few years ago, a lot of organizations actually have been attacked by ransomware. Dah lama sebenarnya, and there are so many. But at this time masih, they still sweep things under the carpet lah. So they just say, so the news would say attempted malware attack, tapi sebenarnya ransomware. Okay, but now we are being so open about it. Alhamdulillah, because we cannot sweep these things under the carpet kan. We have to share with the others that the other organizations can learn from this. That's why you nampak lah ransomware attack on the news, yeah, especially in Malaysian organizations. SOCSO confirmed cyber attack in 2023, and then if you remember Padu kan, there were alleged nilah Padu hack, tapi sebenarnya tak pun, yeah. It was, things like this kan, because it's already made in the news, people would believe lah. That's why, you can relate to what Dr. Harmi presented just now kan, when it comes to crisis in communication ni. Okay, yeah, organized crime group. So if you remember lah, in June 15, 2011, more than 50 agencies in Malaysia were reported to be DDoS lah. I know the operation cannot be done, the system down lines and so forth. Yeah, because why? Anonymous group announced to the whole world, calling all hackers around the world. Malaysia is trying to strip our rights. So at that time, I think MCMC announced that we want to block torrents, yeah, BitTorrents and things like that. So they kata Malaysia is invading their rights, blah blah blah. So let's attack Malaysia. So calling all hackers around the world, let's attack Malaysia at 7:30 p.m. GMT on June 15, 2011. So as a result to that, a lot of organizations become the victims lah, and reported more than 50, tapi actually more than that. So anonymous group pula, anonymous Malaysia pula, attack Malaysia. This one, I think during election juga ni. Yeah, but anonymous Malaysia, so it's an organized crime group lah. Yeah, and then information leakage is something that can happen intentionally and unintentionally. It can be malicious, it can be non-malicious. Yeah, but you disclose things that you're not supposed to disclose into the public domain. So that's why it's called leakage, or data leak or information leak. So you can see about information leakage, especially through social media lah. Yeah, in 2009, suddenly Facebook became so famous kan. Yeah, so a lot of cases lah when it comes to information leakage. So the most famous one is this one, MI6 chief blows cover, tapi bukan dia lah, the family members, the wife and whatnot, and her Facebook page is not protected at all, no privacy setting, no security setting. So before this guy was announced as the MI6 chief, the wife had already blown lah. And then Ministry of Defence in UK, secrets leaked onto the internet through Twitter and at that time Twitter and Facebook 16 times in 18 months. US congressman always tweeted at that time Twitter lah, from time to time. I said tweet, it was supposed to be a secret trip to Iraq, but he kept on tweeting his whereabouts from time to time. And then Israeli military also unfriended its soldier after a Facebook leak, saying that tomorrow we will go to clean this area, blah blah blah. Yeah, if that happens, baguslah sekarang kan. Okay, but it's good for the adversary, but it's not good for that organization who's trying to protect themselves lah. All right, so now about ransomware, maybe some of you have already heard about it. It is the top malware now lah. There are so many types of malware, viruses, worms, trojans, and so on, but ransomware has become the most famous malware now, because of the impact too. So if Na'uzubillah, if you have received this kind of message, either through email, through instant messaging, and so on and so forth, they will announce to you lah, saying that I've already encrypted your files. Gitu. But if you want to recover your files, you want me to decrypt your file, you have to pay me ransom. Usually in cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and so on lah. Yeah, so that is ransomware. Okay, so don't think that ransomware will not happen to anyone, to organizations only. It can happen to individuals, right? So in 2016, UITM announced lah, dear students, please make sure that you back up your important files on multiple machines and so on. So we can see that at that time because there is this student from UTHM. He had no backup to his master thesis, so he had to pay to the ransomware attacker. At that time, probably cryptocurrency is still murah, yeah. So he only paid about 2,000 plus, just because dia tak ada backup. Yeah, he had no backup of his master's thesis in his laptop, I assume. So what can we learn from this? Please back up your important files. Yeah, make multiple backups. Like you have the Google Drive, you have OneDrive. You know, I'm still using thumb drive. Yeah, call me traditional, but I like thumb drive. But I do multiple lah. Yeah. So please back up. Yeah. So inshallah, if you have a lot of backups, you do not have to pay the ransomware attacker if they ask for ransom and they encrypt your files. Yeah. Yep, and personal data are being advertised on the dark web. Yeah, so this one is from NST. A lot of the cases happened in February 2023. So if you can see here, Nimorito is the name of the seller lah. Yeah, there's this dark web. It cannot be accessed by anyone. Yeah, what you see on the internet is just on at the tip of this iceberg. Below too, we have the dark web, deep web, and so on lah. Yeah, so not anyone can access to the dark web. Usually they will sell a lot of things, bad things lah in the dark web, including you can find assassin to kill someone. Yeah, you can buy ransomware toolkits, the exploits too from the dark web. You can buy guns, drugs, and so forth. This one in the dark web. So in the dark web also, these sellers, Nimorila, Prited, Two-Factor, blah, 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 they are selling Malaysian personal data. All right. So be careful lah. So you need to take care of our personal data, banking data, right? Our health information and so on. Okay, so next, or another type of attack will be phishing, and I thank ITD because from time to time they will come up with a lot of posters lah, kan, through email and so on, to teach us about phishing, spear phishing. Again, whatever you get messages from email to, do not respond to that. Yeah, so inshallah lah, pay attention lah when ITD is sharing with us about all these things kan, because yeah, phishing memang ramai lah staff IUM and others I assume that have fallen victim of spam. So please be reminded that banks will not send you email, or even ITD pun will not send you email to change your password. You know, you just have to reset kan. You don't need to click on the link in your email or in your instant messaging to change, you know. So you have to take a look at the ni lah, kena verify lah the content tu. Yeah. So please just pay attention to the posters. Inshallah, they will teach you how lah to spot for phishing, spear phishing, and so on. And then DDoS, yeah. So there's so many lah. So DDoS ni, if you cannot do your work, if there's no internet, you cannot perform your operation, then you cannot do anything lah, kan? So just to share with you, in 2007, Estonia, an European country, suffered 3 weeks of attack ni, of DDoS attack. They had no internet for 3 weeks. Yeah, can you imagine? Tak ada internet for 3 weeks kan, but at the time they okay lagi lah. But just imagine banks, yeah, how can the whole country was without internet kan? So can you imagine macam mana nak bayar gaji on time, yeah, and all the other critical sectors lah, right? So na'udzubillah, hopefully it will not happen to Malaysia. But DDoS can happen, and how to avoid this: if you are not using your smartphone, you are not using your laptop and so on, just turn off your Wi-Fi, turn off the Bluetooth, turn off everything, yeah, so that they will not implant bots into your devices, and then they can use and they can control it, they can use your resources, either your storage, either your processing power and whatnot. So this is what happened to Estonia lah. If you map the threat map too, there were thousands of bots around the world that are being used to buat DDoS attack ni, yeah, on the country. Okay. Okay, other than that, we had, don't forget about our physical security as well. So when you enter, make sure that you are using your card lah. We use our smart card too. And don't allow piggybacking. So for example, if you're opening the door, using your card and then you see there's somebody behind you that you do not know, probably an outsider. Okay, so just have the courtesy to just ask them, who do you want to see? Can I help you? And things like that, right? So let's together play our part lah, because remember I mentioned earlier, if that intruder is already inside an organization, they can do a lot of things, yeah. Can do espionage, sabotage, and so on and so forth lah. Yeah. So be careful. We also, although we talk about cybersecurity, do not forget about our physical security, the protection of our own physical infrastructure. Okay, so next will be fake news. Harmi had mentioned just now, kan, in this era, so many fake news are on the rise. So just be careful lah before you want to share, because we need to also take care of our reputation. Kan, contohlah in our profile, people know that we are IUM lecturer, kan, but then we are spreading fake news about a lot of things. So that is actually somehow tarnishing your reputation, yeah. So, and can tarnish IUM punya reputation as well. So think before you post lah, yeah. Inshallah, you can do that. I think Dr. Harmi also mentioned about this, about social media juga, kan? So just be mindful lah. Do not share sensitive information either about you or about the organization, especially if those things are false. Yeah, those things are sensitive. Those things are confidential. Yeah, and please just spend some time to take a look at the settings, the privacy settings, security setting too. Make sure not for everybody lah, yeah, maybe your friends only, yeah. And when you accept friends too, don't accept everyone, kan, because you might accept people yang have bad intention, people that you do not know, yeah. You don't have to be so proud to have 1,000 followers ke 1,000 friends, yeah, because those friends and followers could become somebody with ill intention towards you, play games and whatnot, kan? Be careful as well, because through these games, and some of these games are not being developed by the social media company like Meta and so on. Sometimes they allow third party. Usually they would allow third party, like Roblox and whatnot, kan? There's so many people who are creating their own games inside there, and at the same time they are doing a lot of things, pornography, stealing information, and so on and so forth. And be careful when you receive email or IM. It's related to phishing just now, so do not just click on the link, because when you click too, sometimes you can download something, a malware and whatnot, kan? And you can spread the malware. Yeah. So kalau just take some time lah to take a look at the link tu. Kadang-kadang it is being written in apa-apa, ABC lah, XYZ, XX ke whatever, kan? It's not really ium.edu.my, right? So don't click on it lah. Rule of thumb is, if you receive any email ke messages from katanya, kononnya coming from banks ke court and whatnot, bolayan sahaja, right? Just ignore, especially if they ask for money. Yeah, ignore lah. Yeah, tak pasal hilang duit, kan? So many scams nowadays. So how to combat all these threats? Yeah, you know already some of the threats that can happen to you. So Alhamdulillah, that's why we have this program today, right? To empower you with some knowledge on crisis communication, on information security, cybersecurity, AI governance, and so forth. So kita menuntut ilmu, insyaAllah banyak pahala, kan? So we want to empower people to learn about all these things so that you can become the human firewall, yeah? And we have to develop our processes lah, develop the policies. If you do not have policy, you have to create one. Once you have developed the policy, make sure you implement the policies properly and then enforce what you need to enforce. Yeah, otherwise policy would be useless lah if you do not enforce, kan? Yeah, and also you need to invest on technological controls as well, kan? Macam I mentioned tadi lah, firewall lah, IDPS, and so on and so forth. They are expensive, yeah, but yeah, it's a must lah, just to share with you, kan? I mean, maybe 20 years ago, when the government want to purchase firewall, they had to do a lot of presentations. Tapi sebab mahal, it was turned down. Yeah, but now if you do not have firewall, habis, right? So what I mean to say is that firewall is a must. Kan? Although it's expensive, but you have to buy it anyway, right? So you have to lah, yeah. Okay, so personally what you should do, kalau nak beli new laptop, make sure you buy a laptop with original software lah, kan? Sometimes you need to maybe add a bit more, like 100 plus gitu, so that you can get original hardware. Windows do not pay me anything. I'm not just talking about Windows, any software for that matter. You need to use original or licensed software, especially operating systems like Windows and so on. Because why? If you have the original license, you can have the personal firewall inside it. Tak payah belilah, maknanya already inside there. And then it can have anti-malware solution, and it can patch, yeah, it can updates from time to time. Yeah, so you have to update. So when your laptop or computer is suddenly saying that your laptop is being updating, so do not force shutdown lah. Yeah, because updates is very important, not just for functionality but also security. Okay, so remember that software ni are just lines of codes yang manusia buat, that human being code. Yeah, so there are a lot of errors. So how to patch these errors adalah through updates. Yeah, so allow your computer to be updated lah. Yeah, so
Now,
individually what? Sorry,
now,
ada answer?
wrap up. The wrap up. Can you wrap up?
Oh, wrap up boleh. Okay. Okay, nanti boleh share lah kot. InsyaAllah, I've already shared the slide ni kan. Nanti boleh
Ya, ya.
tengok ataupun so ni sebab UIA kan, kenalah ada ayat Quran sikit. So before you share whatever news tu, validate dululah, ya. Lepas tu, ni macam AI and cyber security. So AI is being used, memang very good lah, You can use AI in a lot of all this technology and that I mentioned too for network security, blah, 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 blah. But there are a lot of challenges, hence there are, AI is a double-edged sword, not just in cybersecurity, but also in our daily life lah. Yeah. So, tu je lah I wrap up dulu. Kalau ada soalan, nanti kita share, ya. Sorry, Dr. Shaliza ambil masa. Biasalah lecturer dah lama tak mengajar. Dia macam nak share sikit.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, Dr. Nuha, thank you for your sharing. Itulah, dia normally, dia dapat mic tu kan, semua orang semua tak nak lepas. But anyway, Alhamdulillah, thank you for both the sharing session daripada Harmi as well as Dr. Nuha. Okay, so now we are for question and answer session, and I would like to open to the public kalau they have questions. But while waiting for that, I think maybe I can ask Dr. Harmi some gist dulu lah. So to Dr. Harmi, what if there happens to be a crisis? Okay, so sometimes at the university level, sometimes at the departmental level, ataupun more like residential. Normally things happen at residential, or sometimes things happen at the kuliah. So what should be done? What is the first thing should be done if it happens at kuliah or at Muhala? So from it trigger lagi, and what should be done? What would be the real things before dia merebak lah? So if you can share some in 5 minutes ke?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shirley. Very simple. When things happen in the university, whether in Mala or Kuliah department, first they need to inform Awesome. Awesome as an authority macam polis lah in IIUM. And then that's why we have this, used to call Sejahtera Council, but I believe now we want to revamp and change the name. But so outside we call as CMT, Crisis Management Team. In crisis management team, there always be the PR boss, director of PR, and the security boss is as the top, and also if I'm mistaken, OSH. Things happen. Let's say in Mahala, the Mahala principal need quickly to inform the chain. The chain is we cannot have a large group in WhatsApp, and so student will inform principal, principal will inform the head principal, the principal will inform in the group that we have together. So from there, Awesome will take action and OCAP will take action. Director of OCAP will decide um, the way of the problem, whether should we call involve rector, deputy rectors together in it, or just the rector, or just the small group can handle the situation. But normally, if the situation escalate into a bigger problem, then we need to inform higher authority. Do we need to inform public or the internal community? Depend on the crisis. If the crisis is big, Nauzubillah, there's a food poisoning happen in Mahala. Then it's big, and we need to quickly before it's escalate into becoming viral on social media, and that's how the communication part. And to handle this thing, it depends on the CM crisis management plan and how to rectify. And my job was to ensure that everything went smoothly in communication wise, so there's no miscommunication happening, especially to the public and also internal.
Yeah, because sometimes the crisis too is not made by staff or student. It was, triggered by an outsider, a non-IUM community. So should we be responsible about it, or should we keep
If
it
anything
close?
happen inside our community, we should be responsible for it. Very simple. But if it's done by an outsider, we inform. For example, that something happened, yeah, someone got injured or someone died in Auzubillah around inside the campus, but it's not our community. So the first thing I do is that I investigate first. I get to know, and I will get into what's happening. I need to know everything. Then they say, oh, the person, blah blah blah. Jangan jatuh pada atas tu. Dia orang kita ke bukan? Okay, then if I have to make statement saying that yes, there's a incident happened in one of the mahala. But rest assured to all, this is not our what do you call it, community, and the rest I cannot comment more because it's under police investigation. If same goes to like last year I think, when someone um, sadly uh, kill himself in one of the mahala, but it's not our staff. So he should in the morning come out in a statement saying that yes, we cannot run, we cannot lie, and we cannot run from the fact. We can say, hey, diam jangan cakap orang. Cannot, because it's too now with the camera everywhere. When I say camera everywhere, is you cannot hide anymore now. You need, but the response narrative is important. The word I use narrative because everywhere you see the word in communication is narrative. You have to set the narrative first. If you don't set the narrative, then there will be many type of narrative will come out. Okay.
Okay, there's a question from YouTube. Uh, the crisis due to man-made sabotage. I mean, the same thing like what I asked just now. The question is, what if the crisis is due to man-made sabotage, and how to go with the crisis communication?
Man-made
Some quite
sabotage.
simple to ask lah.
I answer. Okay. Man-made sabotage is depending on, because every crisis is different. You have to use your common sense sometimes. There's no like recipe masakan. Ayam campur jadi ni. Sometimes you need to do fusion also. You have to see what sabotage it is. Okay. Because of some, macam nak cakap like what happened to us in visa, I call it visa debacle at that time. Um, so thing when happen like that, I don't want to know who's impossible. I want to know how to solve the problem. And then I know at that time sabotage starts coming from outside and also from inside through social media, through media. So I need to mitigate to that problem. So to mitigate the problem, I cannot just say to public, said, okay, it's all under control, we are taking care of it, but you don't do anything at all. So I must do something first, which together with Visa Union at that time, we went to immigration office in Putrajaya. We deal with them. We got some answers. We got some positive answer from them. Then only we make statement, because I know when we make statement based on something. If I make a statement on behalf of the university, but there's nothing be done behind, then it's something that um it be backfire to us. Same goes to, I will have to be careful in saying this. Um, it's one of the at one of our interview of one of the future student at that time. Something went wrong during the interview. I can say then that the candidate, that's the word, the candidate reported to Harar Metro. Harar Metro quickly picked up the story, and social media started to come out also. And when the reporter called me, I said, "Give me time, give me 1 hour." So I have to honor. When I say 1 hour, then I start to call everybody. I call the dean of the kuliah. I call director of Amman. I call everyone to get to the bottom of it. I want to know what happened. Then from there, I answer. This is when I said to you that when I told the reporter that we will look into this matter. Kami akan halusi perkara ini dan kami akan um, akan lihat secara dalam lah. The word I use very carefully. I never use siasat. When I say siasat, that I negatively say that, yeah, there's something wrong inside. And we will take action. When I say we'll take action, also there's something wrong inside. So this is something that I need to be careful in saying. So that sabotage, I need to see what type of sabotage. Yeah, it could be sabotage orang burukkan UIA. Sabotage macam-macam ada. There's a lot of things. So, but the step is the same. I want to show just now yang panjang lebar tu is the step is the same. Regardless, because of AI, because of what, you follow that step. Tapi because of crisis ni, dia akan escalate and then akan bertambah. So now AI we have, like Dr. Nuha said that, I can put your face, Dr. Shelley, said bad thing about university on video. And you did not say it. But it's your face, it's your voice, it's you. And that's the problem with now. So that another headache that I have if I'm in the office, how to handle that if something, sometime tiba-tiba one of our top management said something bad on video, but that's not him. So need to act very fast to clear the air, saying that this is not, this is fake news. Lekas-lekas buat poster fake news. This is and then buat statement. But depending on the degree and the seriousness of the problem. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hamid. Okay, I have also a question, maybe to Dr. Nuha. So, most of us, dean directors, even I know the latest, last year, was it, or early this year, remember Maybank sacked dia punya CFO because of some release of payments. But it was actually when they found it was because of, I'm not sure if you're aware of the case. So how should because office bearer so dia pegang duit kan, release of payments, and how should office bearer keep track, secure their own phones, because once people hack the phone, all information, linkage, bank accounts are there. So especially for office bearer, allowable expenses kan. So how should office bearer actually, especially our UMC ke top management, should we secure ourselves, our phone, from being, get access or scammed by others, intruders?
Okay. So a lot of practices that had been done by organizations kan, so they would not just give or allow their top management to use their own personal phone. So usually the bosses ni have got two phones lah. One is personal, one is yang for official matters. So of course lah kita punya, and similarly laptops like that as well kan. So that's why a lot of organizations memang either they give the smartphone, okay, and they will tell this is only for official use only. All right, so check out Bank Negara, there are additional security controls dalam tu. A lot of things lah, mobile device management lah, and so many things. So at least, through official assets, it is secured, yeah. But kalau if we use our personal phone kan, and everything is there lah, yeah, a lot of photos, our personal thing, and then our children play with our phone, suddenly accidentally post something, whatever lah, So those are the things lah, yeah. So that's why macam, for For example, Cybersecurity Malaysia is they ada because they want to have some stake, so they will pay about 50 ringgit ke apa. I'm not sure the exact amount, but it is okay. We pay you your phone bills. You have to be careful. Kalau let's say you don't have the money to buy, the phone for your employees, kan. So that is one of the thing lah. We have to segregate personnel. Same thing with laptop juga. Personal laptop used for personal matters, especially kalau you top management lah. Kalau lecturer cabut, macam ini kerja kan, insyaAllah. But make sure that I will not give my children, using my laptop and, do whatever they want lah kan. I do not even allow them to play games on my lap, kan. Or I do not even allow my children to have their own smartphone up to that point lah. So, but we have our own ways of dealing with it. But when we talk about top management, kena lebih dari itu dah. The office bearers, the top management ni, you have to segregate personal items, personal assets dengan dia punya official corporate own assets. Tak dengar Dr. Shaliza mute.
Tak mau.
Okay.
Okay, so among ITD's concern is actually of sharing email password, sharing email, because staff access to email server ni is different than students punya access. So among ITD's concerns, if I'm not mistaken, because it happened ada one case. So please do not share your password. Staff, do not share your password to your family members. Okay, even though your child is in UAE. Okay, so do not share your password. I believe in any organization as well, because the password is actually the key access to the organization. So I think that's number one. So I mean, another question to Dr. Harmi, because last time you say you also rely on social media when to release information, remember? But there's social media ni, they are like I am confession. So kata I am confession. This is not for IM. So how do we know which is actually the official IM or the one?
IUM confession is not by IUM. We have spoken to the person who own IUM confession. They said that IUM stands for something else, but unfortunately the acronym is the same. I once answered a question by the Minister of Higher Education, not this minister, previous minister. Because in the confession said something lah politically punya ni dah kan. So but my answer is that they are not, and they are not official IIUM. That's why we strongly say that go to official source. The thing is, the problem with social media is everybody can say, everybody can do. I can do something now, create and I claim something, but no one can say anything. There's no license. There's no license. Like for example, that if we have TV, for example, mana boleh kan, ni license to have. But now I can have my own station TV, podcast for example. There's no license. You buat podcast, you hentam siapa you suka. Nobody cares, and because you are allowed to do that. That is the danger of this in the world of communication, in the world of corporate communication and crisis, because anybody can say anything without any filter. So it depends on you how to handle. That's why I use the word pick your battle. A lot of people not happy with me because they said that I did not fight with those. Here we cannot fight wildfire dengan satu baldi air. I have how many staff? 2 staff katnya yang handle this thing, and you want me to fight hutan terbakar? Cannot. But how to maneuver around it? And this is how I answered back to my boss when my boss asked me the question. So what I did, senang je. Dr. Nuha pun tahu algoritma dalam social media yang banyak akan tutup yang kecil. So my trick is whenever something bad say about the university, satu, I will lontar 10 benda baik about university. Yang ini akan mati. And then there's one yang surrounding sekarang ni ada. I tak nak sebutlah semua tu. Yang banyak mengata pasal universiti ni, kan? Tapi dalam dia punya, I have my own warrior also. Dalam dia punya thread tu, a lot of memuji UAE juga. In the end, it becomes something that perjanjian Hudaibiyah. Understand? Yang nampak dia adalah kelemahan kepada kita, but in the end sebenarnya dia kelebihan pada kita. Why? Because kalau ikutkan dalam show business, yang boleh ambil sikit dalam show business, every news is a good news. Negative news pun kan, pasal artis ke apa nak popular, dia tak kisah apa story keluar pasal dia pun, dia kan okay because they want to be more popular. Same goes to us. Kalau banyak berita buruk tu, you tumpang kat situ berita baik dia. So people will still go to your thread, go to your ni, sebab you mengata your macam-macam. But di bawah tu banyak benda baik yang baca. End up you kena balik, dia kena balik lah. So you gain something also. So this is something the better and war that not written. The rule is not written. It's up to you. You use your experience, your credibility in fighting with it because it's always generating. Tu yang bahayanya. What I'm generating is that from the time of Google to the YouTube. Dulu YouTube je nak lawan pun. Dah have Twitter. Now we have to fight with Twitter. Then keluar pula TikTok. Ya Allah lah kita teruk. TikTok. Now AI. AI keluar muka. Now when you look in the video, Donald Trump say something or our Prime Minister say something, you question, betul ke ni? Because you're not sure anymore. That's danger. So in term of communication, in wider term of communication, yang menapis to filter is us, the recipient, not the yang mengeluarkan anymore. Last time when we used only have TV, when I work in TV, only television saja ada. We tapis, we have lembaga penapis sendiri, we have lembaga penapis negara to filter all the news, all the story, all the video coming out, movie coming out, all been filtered. Now no more filter. So we have to filter ourselves. So this is where the danger is, and dia menambahkan tugas sebagai corporate communication ni even terlebih teruk dari dulu, even worse, and you need to be well equipped, well versed, well educated, well not educated, say well educated. Everything you are complete in order for you to go to the battle. If not, if you panic, if you don't know what to do, within minutes you akan kena. Within minutes, sometimes or hours. So you need to be fast and do it correctly because we have seen not in our university saja. I tak nak bagi sampel nanti benda ni menyentuh siapa-siapa, tapi if you look around us, there are a lot happening around us lately because of lambat buat statement, dia dah jadi escalate to something really huge that you tak boleh nak tutup dah. Macam tu lah.
There was lesson learned lah. Okay, the last event. Okay, Dr. Nuha, because we are laymen, I'm not expert in AI or cyber. So, but how do we want to ensure the authenticity of news? Because there are deep fake news. So how do we ensure? Because kita bila Dr. Harmi say, we ourselves have to be the one who filter it. So with basic knowledge ni, how do we know other than our ethical boundaries lah? So what can you comment on that?
Itulah like I mentioned earlier ni kan, now all the deep fakes and so on has become more realistic than before, kan? Because thanks to the advancement of technologies lah. So memang our due diligence, if I lah, if I receive anything, any information, any video and whatsoever, sometimes kita, we can tell that macam tak betul je, so why don't we kita buat further our due diligence, search lah dekat internet tu, you just need to go to Google, is this story a hoax or not? Is this real? I would do that, because
Dan bagian itu pun kena bagi source yang betul. Kalau tidak nanti macam
betul.
dapat juga yang salah.
You have to choose the right source lah, because there's so many kan. So some time to read, baca. Oh, ni betul ni. And then counter back lah, macam we do our PhD kan. Kita boleh tak boleh rely on one source saja. We have to go do our study and look at other sources and verify. Yeah, so we do have things like sebenarnya.my kan. You can do that, but sometimes itulah dulu I tengok macam tak berapa, it's not very updated, benda yang baru-baru tak berapa ada, but kalau tak ada, you cari sendirilah, kita buat kita punya own study, okay ke tak kan, betul ke tak, tapi itulah kena banyak membaca lah kot kan, tak boleh nak main percaya aja, and also refrain yourself to become the first person to sensationalize the issue. Sebab kalau benda tu tak betul, and if it's not right, it's actually your own reputation that is at stake.
I think go back to what we have from this university, from Islamic point of view, that's tadi, Islamic perspective. Sebab from Islamic perspective ni sebenarnya, tak salah saya lah kalau saya pun tak pakar sangat bidang ni, Tapi ada Rasulullah pernah bercakap yang satu hari nanti umat aku akan memfitnah sama secara terbuka. Kita fikir fitnah terbuka macam mana, but now is the time. Ni fitnah terbuka lah ni. I can say bad thing about you because openly.
Yeah.
Kan dulu nak fitnah ni kena cakap belakang. No more kat belakang. Openly. And people do it because of fame, because of name, because of money. Contoh, like I said, sad thing happened about adik Zara. A lot of people take advantage of it. And then bila kena tanya soalan, polis tanya kenapa, oh, saya nak buat content je. Bagi dia tak
Correct.
salah. It's not wrong. I just want to make a content. But didn't realize that that content to affect the family. And one more thing is that when something bad happen, no, just share. Kan, accident happen, ambil gambar video orang mati tu, share dalam. And a lot of people, because benda tu orang suka kan. A lot of people like, and then dapat beribu likes. Wah, best. Aku share hari ni. I got 100,000. I know why must you do that? But it comes in ourselves. So, dalam Islam mengajar kita menipu, fitnah tu lebih buruk daripada membunuh. So you are doing that. You are doing that to other people. You are say bad thing about other people online, so that people hate that person. You don't like the word now. They just cancel. I nak cancel that person. You say bad thing about that person. It happened to our student before 2 years ago. I can share the genes of it. Something happened in a car. The boyfriend slapped the girlfriend, and then her friend show up, and she share dekat online. And masuk surat khabar. Dan I tengah mengajar masa tu, been called by reporter semua. I have to come out to settle this thing, and polis masuk campur. When polis masuk campur, that guy, that student lelaki-lelaki tu ditangkap kerana mencederakan kan, is assault. And then that girl baru realise that the degree of dia dah share tu, lepas tu dia tarik balik. Dia kata, I didn't mean like this. I just want to show, so this is, sometimes people don't realise that what they do. So we have to retrain ourselves. When we share, we want to ask ourselves balik, apa yang aku share ni? But to educate people, the mass public on that is the biggest jihad in the world. Susah.
Okay, so in 1 minute, Dr. Hami, if you want to wrap up your views. 1 minute.
1 minute, okay, fine. Tak apa. 1 minute to lecturer ni super tak payah sebenarnya, tapi okay. In 1 minute, in crisis communication is very important. In our university, for example, that we need to act fast, and then we diligently, and kita kena bijak dalam menangani. And in anything at all, do not make any statement. Let OCAP do the rest. Senang je kerja. Tak payah. You jangan sibuk. Leave it to OCAP. They will do the rest because they know what to do the right way to do. So this is my pesanan to our own community. When things happen, report quickly to Tuan Syarul and to OCAP. Let them handle. Jangan you yang sibuk nak share. Macam tu lah. Okay, sorry. Dah.
Thank you, Dr. Hami. Dr. Nuha, if you would give your final conclusion.
Okay. Saya cuba 1 minit. Okay, so AI ni of course banyak kegunaannya. There are so many opportunities kan with AI. So you have to embrace that lah. Okay, we cannot just stop technology. Tak nak guna smartphone sebab ada masalah. Tak nak guna AI. You cannot stop technology. You have to embrace. You have to understand. Okay, these are the opportunities. I will use this as benefits lah. And these are the challenges. This is how I govern. This is how I take care of it. I want to educate my children. I want to educate my students. My fellow ni kan, staff and so on and so forth. So just senang lah. Before you post anything, stop kejap. Think. Kan? Is it confidential? Is it sensitive? Is it appropriate? Kan kadang-kadang we just take photo and then post je. Kadang without realizing, sebenarnya sometimes the other side of the picture tu macam maybe not appropriate. Whatever lah kan, whatever gesture and whatnot kan. So be careful, check further. Jangan nak jadi the first one to viral everything. Take care of your own reputation kan. Kita IUM staff ya. So and take care of IUM reputation juga lah insyaAllah.
Thank you. So being the first is not always important.
No.
So jatuh second place pun okay.
No, being accurate is more important.
Okay, so but we before we conclude, we thank Dr. Harmi and Dr. Nuha for their sharing valuable information for us, the sharing session. Hopefully that not just IUM staff, students, or other the rest of the community in the YouTube, that to really acknowledge that we acknowledge AI, but make sure that the usage of AI is thoroughly you use both sides lah. That's why they say the double-edged sword. It can be good, it can be not good or negative. The same as there is a risk, there's always an opportunity. So whatever that in terms of crisis, make sure that you follow the necessary SOP and let the right authority or person to do their job. Even though nampak lambat, but actually they're doing their job. So before we leave, there's a pesanan penaja that to everybody on their video so that we can take photo for this. Okay, instruction daripada Dr. Alia. Okay. Oh, sekejap. Siapa ambil ni? Syah, okay. Okay, instruction. Apa instruction?
Mute Dr. Shaliza.
Tak dengar actually.
Kopi dia engine dengan saya. Thank you Dr. Harmi, thank you Dr. Nuha, thank you MSD, Brother Afiq, thank you Risk Office, thank you all RCs that are still online from the 9:30 until now 1 o'clock. It's time for your lunch. Unfortunately, we don't provide lunch. So you have lunch at your own pace, at your home place. Okay, thank you everybody. Jumpa lagi insyaAllah for the next session. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you,
Thank you.
RMO.
Okay. Don't forget the feedback survey. Alright. Dia termute sendiri eh? Okay. Oh. Wow. Stop.